Hello, and welcome to this webinar in Caring.com's Digital Marketing Academy series. Today's session is focused on optimizing your referral partnership with Caring.com to help deliver the greatest return on investment for our partners. That's you. I'm Denise Graab, a marketing director here at Caring.com, and we have a range of practical information to cover today, so let's get started. Moment. There we go. Just a few housekeeping items first. This is a one-way webcast where only the presenter speaks. However, you can ask questions at any time by typing and submitting them using the tool on the right side of your screen. We'll then answer those questions at the end of the session, and if we run out of time, we'll follow up with you afterwards. So don't worry. If you have a question, please ask it, and we will get it answered for you. We're also, this is a common question we get during our webinars, will this be recorded and can you have a copy of the slides? Yes and yes. After this session, we will send you the materials. We are recording this session, so we will upload that and circulate a link so you can watch that on YouTube. Now, a quick plug about the sponsor of today's session, your referral partner and my employer, Caring.com. We have more than 3 million visitors using our site's senior care resources every month. These are families, caregivers, and older adults who are turning to us for caregiving information, referral, and support. They also come to us for reviews about senior care providers. In fact, we are the largest senior care reviews site with more than 130,000 consumer reviews posted today, and we add thousands every month. We also have thousands of original articles across all kinds of caregiving and elder care topics, and a host of online support groups for family caregivers. In fact, I just got an email today from a senior living community who said that our Caring Suggest newsletter with articles was very helpful to them in the families they serve. And we're owned by Bankrate and part of a powerful network of websites dedicating to supporting people in making the complex financial decisions. Joining me as a presenter today is one of my close colleagues, Mr. Stephen Kelly. Stephen joined our organization in 2013, and he's now a customer service manager. Previously, he worked at Google, Matrix Medical, and Charles Schwab. During his tenure at our organization, he has managed family advisors, customer service agents, client services, and quality assurance staff. He's originally from the United Kingdom and has a strong accent. However, he's lived in the United States for 27 years. He is one of the great go-to managers we have on our client services team, delivering on the mission of providing you, our partners, top-notch service and support, and assisting you with anything from feedback on leads to training of new staff on our referral program to updating your profiles and addressing any and all questions working with us. For those of you not yet familiar with me, I've been at Caring.com for over 6 years now and have about 2 decades of professional communications and marketing experience. I've been focusing in the area of social media marketing for the last 10 years. I began my tenure at Caring as Director of Social Community, helping to build our active online community of family caregivers, whether in our online support groups or on social networks like Facebook. Last January, I took on a new role as Director of Industry Marketing and have been involved in helping to build and manage Caring's reviews program since its early days. So I have lots of knowledge in that area, and I'll be sharing some of that with you today. I also co-created the Caring Stars Award program, which is based on consumer ratings and reviews, and I manage our industry blog. Here's what we're going to be covering today. Stephen will start us off by sharing some tips to help you make a fabulous first impression, not only with the consumers who visit our site, but also with the family advisors who refer them to you. He'll include how our referral program works and how you can give feedback to further optimize the introductions we make of families to you. Next, I'll share about the reviews program and the impact it's having on driving inquiries and conversions for our partners. Then I'll talk about some free PR marketing and content opportunities we offer as a value add to you. We'll conclude with an opportunity to get your specific questions answered and share a few announcements. Now at this time, I'd like to turn the mic and controls over to Stephen Kelly of our Client Services team to share key insights with you with your partnership with us. And Stephen, you can just press the arrows as you mentioned.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Denise, thank you for that glowing introduction. I appreciate that. I'm sort of glowing over here in the corner from that one. And it's been great working here at caring.com for the last 4 years. I've really enjoyed myself. So what I want to talk about today is about optimizing your online profile and how it can help you and help us to help you get the communities, get the leads, get the referrals that are a perfect fit for your community. So like everything else in life, first impressions really do matter. Whether you're looking at a listing for a home that you're buying, or whether you're looking at a listing for a car, whether you're looking for a listing on a dating site, it's all about first impressions. And what I've got up here at the moment are some screenshots of some of the impressions that we already have for both communities and for home care providers as well. And as you can see, they can be pretty varied. But you want to be able to put out there what makes sense, what makes your particular area unique. So some people like to go with how the rooms look. Some people like to show about the activities that they're really popular about. Some people put, from a home care point of view, the service that they offer. Some people put the logo. It depends on what matches your branding and what you're looking for. But you want to have something out there that's striking. And like everything else, it's all about reviews. Reviews really do matter. Two things that we have noticed. A, people will look for people with 5 stars and more reviews, just like you would do if you were looking at something. And our family advisors look for that too. We look for people that have got good reviews to say, this is a great community. This has had 27 reviews in the last month alone, or the last year alone. That says lots. So you want to think about yourself. What makes you stand out in a large field? Inform, compel, and engage, and help families and help our family advisors get to know you. We train the family advisors to look for this when they're talking to the person that's calling in. Because remember, the person that's calling in is looking for advice. They may even tell us and said, I was looking at Community X and I see it's got some great reviews. What else can you tell me about them? And we can tell them more information as long as you shared it with us. So if you tell us what immunities you have or what services you offer, what you have, you would be surprised at how many people like a community because it has a beauty salon. That's something that's really important to my mum. So the more that you share about us, what makes you special, what makes you unique, will help us sell the process to the person on the phone and make sure we send a good fit to your community. Financial qualification and matching budget to rates. Tell us about your rates. This is very key to us. We want to make sure that anyone that we talk about here for you has the right budget. It's always a topic that people want to know what the cost is going to be. We would never want to send you anyone whose budget is $2,000 and your starting rate is $3,000. So it's key to us that we know your monthly rates. And I cannot stress this enough. It's important to tell us when they change. Get that information out to us as soon as possible. We'd like to know the starting rates. We'd like to know the average rates and all care levels. What do you offer? Are you just an independent living? Do you do memory care? Are you assisted living? What do you offer so we know what the rates are too? We also understand that you will do specials from time to time, and we like to tell people that you're having a special. It can make a difference. So if you're telling us you've got a special that's running, whatever it may be, maybe you're going to waive a move-in fee for 3 months or 2 months or whatever it may be, let us know. We will make sure it goes out to the family advisors. A key point to make is to please let us know when it ends, because we want to let people know when it ends. I would hate to think that we'd send someone down talking about a promo that has been dead for 6 months. So please let us know when this ends. And rates For our senior living partners, once again, it's key that we have it. It's key that we know about move-in specials. We know baby boomers want to see some estimated pricing on their listings. But if you can give us details about everything that you have, it helps us make the decision process for you. And for our home care clients, we give them a range for your particular area. We know that there's individual prices. We give them a range of what it's going to be. Sharing information with caring.com. We're going to go into greater details of it, but I wanted to put this in your minds out there. There are 3 different areas within caring. So I wanted to break it down. If you've got information about the referral, the lead that we send you directly, contact the family advisor because that's who you're in direct contact with. And it's always best to email them, and I'll show you where their email is in an upcoming slide because they're always going to be on the phone. Just like you don't want to be playing phone tag. If you've got an update on a referral that you want to share with us, email. You can either email the family advisor directly or you can visit our partner portal. You can use the feedback, and I'll go into that in a second, and tell us how the lead went. If it's to do with your account, so if you need to update rates or if you need to tell us there's been a change of personnel, you can do that through contacting your account executives. You can tell us about rates through the portal, or if all else fails, make a note of this email address, clientservices@caring.com. We will take care of it for you. And last but by no means least, reviews. Reviews are important. Reviews are key. Here is our contact information, community@caring.com, in regards to reviews. That's Denise's specialty. She loves getting emails of that address. So understanding the referral program here at caring.com. Here's the typical person that goes to our internet lead. So she's probably an adult daughter in her 50s. Okay, she's likely been prompted by a medical situation or a safety concern. One of the first questions that we train our family advisors to ask is, so what prompted your search? Why did you sit down today and look at communities or look for in-home care? They don't know what their options are. They really have no idea what's in the area, what they should do. They need help. That's why we call our people family advisors. They need advice. But they do research before calling. And the research that they do is reading what's out on the internet. And it may be a question of them reading what they find anywhere, and I'll show you a slide about that in a second. But they're going to look at reviews. They're going to look at ratings. They're going to want to know, what can you tell me about this community, or what do you know about this in-home care service? They choose to fill out a lead form, but they tell us how they want to be contacted. They tell us whether they want to be done by email, whether they want to be done by phone, and we'll accommodate them from whatever they want to do. 35% of these people are still working. They know that 60% of it, as I said, likely prompted by a medical situation. 60% of caregivers constantly tell us that that's what prompted them to search in the first place. 90% find reviews immensely helpful. They tell us they've seen the review before we get a chance to talk to them about it. So they want us to fill in the blanks on the review. Here's how she finds us, and there are a variety of snapshots here. They can contact us through our website. They can contact us by just actually typing in what the care need they're looking for and finding us come down on here from caring.com. They can go through our partners. We have great partners such as AARP, where a lot of people will go for senior living, and they come to our site based on their research from there. They will look to the internet to start the process. So everything that we can give them to help them make an educated decision is what we encourage. Here's how we screen her out from an unqualified inquiry. So we get tens of thousands of leads. I remember this from the days when I had my FAs in front of me. And we pre-screen the people that are just looking for jobs or want to get into the industry or are looking for someone that's living in a facility, and get down to the qualified leads. And from the qualified leads, 25% of them are qualified. And the qualified will either be related to the care level that they're looking for or the budget that they're looking for. And we have to tell them everything is related to private pay. There isn't an insurance policy that covers it from that aspect of it. So that's what we do, is we pre-screen to make sure that what we're sending you meets your goals, your aspirations, and what you're looking for. Here's the qualification bar that we have. So for senior housing referrals, we want to make sure we find the appropriate care need. Tell us what's going on. We want this person that we're speaking to, we could be the first person they've ever reached out to, including family members, about what's going on. We want to make sure we find the right community for their care needs. Once again, we tell everyone it's private pay. We let them know that you're going to contact them. It's one of our key things. In fact, it's a 5-point thing on my QA form to let people know that they are going to expect a phone call from you, because that helps build the bonds, that helps build the trust, and for want of a better term, it makes it real. Lastly, we may schedule a tour for one or more of the communities we send. We like to schedule tours because we find it helps with the decision process. That's our goal and objective, is to schedule tours for you in communities, but sometimes people's calendars just don't let them to do it. In some cases, especially going back to our typical internet lead, she may be the project manager and needs to get back to other members of the families with what we've been able to share with her. For in-home care, once again, we look for appropriate care needs. Are you a type of in-home care that does medical or non-medical type requirements? We want to make sure we send the right ones down. Once again, educate them on what the cost is going to be and where is the cost going to be paid for. And also to let them know that you are going to reach out to them. And we tell them that they're going to call, and we'll tell them that it may be 2 or 3 phone calls. And that's what's going to happen. It may have taken us 6 or 7 phone calls to get hold of this person ourselves. You will probably have to make that many calls and that many emails, because sometimes they just don't pick up the phone on the first ring. Now, I'm quite proud to actually show you this slide. You're actually very lucky, because this is going to be our new look that's going live now for how our emails are going to look that we send to you. So this is what you in the community will see in regards to the type of emails that we send out. The one on the left that has the red bar, you will know that actually has a tour scheduled, and it will show you the time and the date. And underneath we have a little story about what we've been able to find out. We find out who they're looking for, why they're looking, what their budget is, a little bit about their daily activities and what they're looking for help on, and when they're looking to move. What is their time frame? We will get as much information from that first phone call as we possibly can. And as you can see, there's a little picture there of the family advisor. You'll be able to respond back to them. If the tour goes well, you'll be able to say, hey, she came in on Friday, she really likes this, here's what's happening. You'll also be able to report it as a duplicate, because we do realize that we have it many times. Maybe 2 members of the family have come in, and one may have gone to you, or maybe they've used another service. Please let us know that it's a duplicate. We understand that. We'll make sure we don't follow up with it when you do it. And the bottom button is give us feedback on this lead. I love feedback. I read all the feedback that we get. It helps us with training. It helps us to look at what we're sending you. And in some cases, it means we can go in and say, you know what, we need to make changes to what we do. So I love feedback. I encourage you to give us feedback. The one on the right, in the green one, it's called is Prospect Now. It will give you the same information, except unfortunately we don't have a tour set up on this one. But you'll see it from that point of view. She's looking to tour, but we don't know when. We weren't able to narrow it down. And for home care referral agencies, we will do the same sort of thing. Obviously, there's not going to be tours involved in yours. We'll let them know what they're looking for, how many days a week they're looking for, how many hours a week they're looking for. We'll screen it to make sure that their budget covers what they're looking for from that aspect of it. And we'll tell them that they are looking forward to hearing from you. We will verify the email address, we verify the phone numbers when we get them in, because we know it's valid because we've talked to them. So this should be valid to talk to, but unfortunately, they're not waiting by the phone sometimes. As I said, 35% of them are working, so you may have to play phone tag a lot. Our team will keep you informed also. So updates will come in by email. Our family advisors are constantly on the phone 8 hours a day. So they are trying to find the perfect fit for your type of service. Generally, updates will come in after we speak to a follow-up. So when we set a tour or when we send you a lead, we send an automatic follow-up date to ourselves to reach out to them also. If we find out more information in that follow-up, we will send more information to you. We'll let you know if they've moved in elsewhere. We'll also let you know if, unfortunately, and this does happen frequently, if they've passed away. If they're no longer looking, we'll let you know why. Sometimes people change their mind because they found out they're going to try another way of doing it, and maybe they try a family member. We'll let you know they put the look on hold for 6 months. But we will reach out to them in 5 months and ask them how they're doing. So we will give you all the feedback that we get. If you have an update or if you have a question on the referral itself that was sent by the family advisors, reach out to their email. They will respond back to you that way. Whether it's they reach out and call the person or they email and send you what they find out, they will correspond with you that way. We like to keep you informed. Speaking of information, as part of your agreement with Caring.com, we ask that you report move-ins on a monthly basis for those of you out there in the communities. At the beginning of each month, you'll get an email asking for us to report your move-ins. We've made it as simple as possible. Just look for the blue buttons. The first button is to click on the move-in report, and on the right you can see move-in reporting. All you have to do is click on the buttons for anyone who's moved in. That's all we ask you to do, and we'll take care of it there. If you need questions, if you need help, if you're not sure what to do, I have a team. We'll be happy to do that for you. Here's our email address, clientservices@caring.com. But we will send out an email every month, so be prepared to see it, understand what we're asking for, and please click the button.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephen. Now I will share some critical insights to complement what Stephen has just shared with you. And for those of you who joined us a little bit late, this is being recorded, and we will share the slides with you after, and we're going to be answering the questions that are coming in. So don't hesitate to ask questions during the session, and we will get them answered for you. All right. As you know, consumers are shopping for nearly everything online these days, with reviews on many websites playing a significant role in the consumer's online research and selections. In some cases, consumers even trust this peer feedback more than advertising or your marketing brochures. And if you haven't already noticed, the reviews that you're getting are now showing up in Google search results as well. And that's not the only search engine where these consumer reviews are showing up. For consumers that are looking on Caring.com for home care, for instance, the partner listings with the most and best reviews are ranking first above the rest. So it's critical, if you're a home care agency, that you get reviews if you want to be found by the many who use our site. And it's not just home care either. Across all of our various directories, whether senior living, home care, or hospice, the data is very clear. Consumers click the listings with reviews, and they skip those that don't have them. That's also true for the thank you emails we send to consumers after they speak to one of our family advisors. And if you'd like to see a sample of one of those, just let us know. We'll scrub some private info from it, and we'll show you how you are showing up in the emails that we send to that consumer after that phone call. Your listing's overall average rating is in that email. There's a link for that prospect to go visit those associated reviews, and that can influence whether or not they answer the phone when you call or whether or not they call you back. Speaking of our family advisors, they're reading your reviews too. We train them to use the referral information that we have on file as the facts of your business, but the reviews and your responses to those reviews do give them a general sense of how well you're serving your customers, and that can give them greater confidence in referring new prospects to you. We are also a data-focused company, if you haven't noticed already, in working with us. And we have used the data to measure exactly how much influence reviews are having in senior care. in multiple studies. We've done this for over 5 different partners with hundreds of listings on our site. We have found that reviews significantly increase leads, tours, and move-ins for our partners. And we've done these studies in both senior living and in home care. In some cases, we've even seen that partners, senior living partners with 15+ reviews on their listings have averaged up to 8 times more move-ins than their community listings with only 1 or 2 reviews. Our Caring Stars Award, which is based on those consumer reviews, also boosts engagement. In one study we did, we found that on average, having this award doubled the inquiries and move-ins for those partners who had earned it versus those who hadn't. We're also hearing, I'm getting these phone calls pretty frequently recently actually, since Google started putting the reviews back in the search results. I've been getting quite a few phone calls from providers who say they're hearing from consumers who were given their business by a doctor or social worker. Those consumers still went online before calling that company to do an information search about the business that the doctor or the social worker told them about. They're finding the reviews, they're then reading those reviews, and they're bringing those insights to the call or to the tour and asking about what they read. So some of these providers are learning for the first time that this consumer feedback is out there, and it is influencing both the online senior care searcher as well as the person who's getting the referral offline. So it's imperative for the success of this partnership that you get reviews on your listing. So important. And I suggest that you set a target of having 10 initially, and then at least 4 new ones per year thereafter. The consumer wants to see how you are recently. They do want to read reviews from 5 years ago, surprisingly. We've done surveys on this. They want to see how you do over time, but they're also interested in seeing newer reviews as well. After hearing that compelling information I just shared with you, a common mistake I've seen with some of our partners, they get really excited, they've got to get those reviews. They go out and ask all their staff and their business partners and friends to post reviews on their listing. That's a big mistake. The senior care searchers we help aren't really interested in hearing from your staff about how great your business is. They want to hear from other consumers just like them who have used your services and are willing to share about what that was like. Remember, consumers trust reviews in many cases more than advertising, and in their mind, those employee reviews are another form of marketing or advertising from the business itself. It's information coming from individuals who have a vested interest, a vested financial interest at that. And they want to hear from people who don't, people who've used the service, again, people just like them. In March, I'm going to host a webinar with lots of information on how you get the real consumer reviews. And I'm going to give you a few samples here now. But I just want you to remember, ask your happy customers and their family members to post reviews, not your employees or your friends at the Chamber of Commerce. Another common question I get from partners who are new to online reputation management is this. There's so many review sites out there now. Where do we focus? I recommend you go where the most of your prospective clients are going, where there's an opportunity for them to immediately convert that interest into a lead, and where there's a high level of trust in the integrity of those reviews. Last summer, we were curious, which sites do family caregivers trust more for senior care reviews? And we forced them to choose only one answer. So they had to choose, what do they trust most? This was in our annual Caregiver Journey survey last July and August. We found that they trust senior care websites far more than the general review sites like Yelp or Google. And very few look to Facebook as the most trustworthy source of reviews. I mean, if you think about it, those are huge sites. One thing about Caring.com that we have that's unique is we have humans reading every single review before it hits your listing. Some of the larger sites don't have that. Anyone can go post whatever they want. We don't have that on Caring.com. We have very high standards of really high integrity. And as a result of that, the family caregivers we serve, they can trust those are real consumer reviews. We also found, this was interesting to us, we also found that they trust the reviews on your website, which is sort of counterintuitive when you think about the statistics on that they don't trust marketing and advertising. However, they do believe you. They do believe that you are posting real consumer reviews, real testimonials, and some of our partners are working with us to do it in a manner to help build that trust. So they followed our reprint guidelines. There's a link back to the listing to prove that it's a real consumer review, and that can make a huge difference to building trust for visitors to your website, to make them believe that those are real reviews. Another thing that surprised us was almost 20% wrote in that they trusted government websites like Medicare.gov for reviews and recommendations they were getting for healthcare professionals. So that was interesting. So the professional government and healthcare professionals is getting about 20% or 19% to be exact on trustworthiness. But 48% of your prospects are turning to senior care review sites. So you have to have at least one senior care review site in your review generation efforts. We recommend Caring, of course. And we've made it relatively simple for you to get consumer reviews on our site. Every listing on Caring.com has a dedicated review submission form. Just click the Write a Review button under the image close to the top of your listing. That will give you the link or the URL that you can share with your happy customers. Any consumer reviews we get via this form are processed within 3 business days. Most are processed much faster than that, in fact. And it's the fastest way to get reviews on your listing, and takes only a few minutes for the consumer. So, you know, a lot of the family caregivers are online. Shoot them an email of those who have given you positive feedback and say, hey, we really appreciate that positive feedback you gave us. Can you do us a favor and go share that so we can help other families just like yours? And then you give them the link, takes them a few minutes, and bam, you've got reviews on your listing. We also have some review generation services that are free of charge and only available to our referral partners. We have the postcard review program. We can send you some postcard submission forms, and this is what a sample of our senior living postcard submission form looks like. These are self-addressed and postage paid for the few individuals who are not yet online but are willing to submit a review. We've also seen some senior living communities put these in the welcome packet. It's a honeymoon period. They're really excited. They know the reasons that they chose your community, and they're willing to share about that and tell others. The other thing we offer is our phone review program. You can give us the names and telephone numbers of consumers willing to be contacted to share a review after you've obtained their permission to do so. Please don't send us names and phone numbers for individuals you haven't spoken to. That can go terribly wrong. So make sure you ask their permission. Hey, are you willing to be called by Caring.com to give a review for our listing on their site? They say yes. Send over their name and telephone number. We'll give them a call. Once we reach them, we'll collect that review by phone and we'll upload it to your listing. For our home care partners, we have a brand new program. We're really excited about it. Home care agencies that are partnered with both Home Care Pulse and Caring.com can now get some of the feedback collected from the telephonic surveys that Home Care Pulse does with your customers, fed from Home Care Pulse to Caring.com as reviews for your listing. We have information about that program on our blog and how you can opt in. I can also share that with you after this webinar if it's of interest to you. And for any of these programs, you can email community@caring.com to get more information and to participate. Okay, once you get a review, the instant you get a review, our partners get an email. It's a new review alert showing you the text of that review, giving you a link to the listing so you can go see it in context of the other reviews on the listing. And you have the ability to post a response. We have best practices for review response on our blog, and I will go into more depth on that in our March webinar. But one really important thing I want to tell you now, when you respond to reviews online, remember this. The reviewer may have already made up their mind about your business. You may not be able to sway them. It's not in your best interest to go tit for tat and debate with them the opinions they have shared. Instead, be professional, be courteous, be empathetic, speak as though you're speaking in front of a crowd of prospective clients, because frankly you are. They are visiting your listing, they are reading that review, and they are reading how well you responded to that critical feedback, or that positive feedback, by the way. You can use this for both positive and negative feedback. They want to know if they ever have an issue, are you going to receive that feedback well, or are you going to argue with them? And so those responses can be very insightful. In fact, we asked family caregivers in that caregiver journey survey, does it matter to you if a business responds to the reviews you see online? 32% of senior care searchers said, it lets me know the business cares and is listening. And in senior care, you better believe that really matters. 22% said it's going to depend on what you say, so please follow the best practices for review response. And just to be perfectly honest, if I see any issues in the response that you post, I will follow up with you to help you on that. And I can share in advance if you're not sure what to say. Just shoot me an email, communitycaring.com. I share the tips with you. I can't write your response for you, but I can give you tips on how to approach that situation. And you know what was really disappointing is 30% said, you know what, I'm not even sure I've seen a business respond. That's a missed opportunity given how important it is to family caregivers and older adults to see your responses to reviews. So when you get this new review alert, please do consider clicking and posting a response. For the older reviews, you can still respond to them. We don't put the date of your response. So you can go back and respond to some of the older reviews you have. The prospect visiting that listing won't know that 6 months or a year or more passed between the review and your response. It's never too late to go back and respond to those reviews. You can email community@caring.com to do so. Okay, sometimes you're going to want to see a review taken down because it's got factual errors, or you think maybe a disgruntled employee posted that review. We have in the new review alert the contest this review button. We're very responsive to these messages. In fact, I prioritize the contested reviews over all else. I check that first thing. I check in throughout the day. It's the last thing I do before I go home. I make sure that any contested review gets my attention as quickly as possible. So please, and this applies to positive reviews too. You might think this is only for negative reviews, but sometimes that prospective resident has visited 6 communities. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes they do. They get their notes mixed up, and as you know, in middle age and older life, memory can go. It's not as the sharpest tool in the shed sometimes, so they can get their facts mixed up even if it is a positive review. We don't want factual errors about your business on our website, so just shoot us an email. We're happy to follow up to address that matter. And if you know who posted that review, they'll have an opportunity to post another review that doesn't have the factual error. Or you can ask us to follow up. We are happy to service you in that regard. You can also contest older reviews. Just email community@caring.com. Let me know the specific facts that are incorrect or the reasons that you think it's a disgruntled employee or a competitor. And I'll follow up with you if I have questions, or I'll take it down immediately if you have provided compelling fact-based information. Okay, and again, we'll go into more depth on the reviews program in our March webinar. We've covered it in prior webinars. I'm happy to answer any more questions you have about reviews as well. But now, let's talk about the few other freebies that we have available to you, our referral partners, that will help you amplify your brand to more prospects. At the beginning of last year, After we were hearing from partners, hey, we get it that we need to have fresh content on our website and our social media profiles, but what to write about? We need ideas, and we need help creating this. We're focused on senior care. Content marketing is not our specialty. So we heard you, and we launched this program to support you. Each month, we've put out something called Content Sparks, and what these are content kits. It has a general theme, like winter weather and senior care, and then it has ideas of how you can write about that theme, organizations you can contact to interview, articles on the web you can read and summarize or share to your social media profiles. It's a complete kit to help you create great original content for your website, newsletter, and social media profiles. We also, and the Content Sparks are available for anybody. However, Content Made Simple has some services that are available just for our partners. The Expert Rolodex, which I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. We also have, a lot of award-winning content on our site, and our partners can reprint up to 3 articles per year, and I can help you with that. You just need to follow our reprint guidelines so that neither of our websites gets dinged in the search engines. We make sure credit is given where credit is due. We make sure it's an article we own and can have reprinted on other websites. And then in a few cases, for the larger chains, we, in some rare cases, can do some original articles. So if you're interested in any of these, give me a shout out to community@caring.com and I'll help you. The most popular service by far is the Expert Rolodex. We are regularly contacted by reporters that are looking to speak with senior care experts on a variety of topics. And I have been using the Expert Rolodex to connect them to those spokespersons at our partner organizations. So if you have a top-notch senior care expert on your team who is a spokesperson for your organization, make sure they're on my Expert Rolodex, and you'll get alerts whenever we have journalists contacting us for stories that want to speak to folks just like your experts. We also, at caring.com, when we're working on our articles, we also reach out to the Expert Rolodex. In fact, our content team just sent me a list of common questions of family caregivers and asked me to reach out to the experts at Caring Stars communities to see if they'd be willing to share their insights and answers to those questions. It was a great project. We got lots of participation. The family caregivers have been so appreciative. We shared it in our newsletter, reaching hundreds of thousands of people. We shared it on our social media profiles, and this all came through our Expert Rolodex. So if you're not on it, and you have an expert, and you're a partner of caring.com, get on this. I have a form you can fill out, but you can contact community@caring.com to get a link to that form. Okay, lastly, we offer our Digital Marketing Academy, which you're participating in right now. We have these free webinars. They're getting really popular. So if you see our newsletter or you see an email that's promoting a webinar and it's of interest to you, don't delay in registering. Grab your spot right away because you could lose the opportunity. Just recently, our December webinar, we almost reached capacity and almost had to turn people away. And then you'd have to watch the recording and the slides, which isn't bad, but it's more fun to be in the live session. So sign up as soon as you see those links. And if you have suggestions for things you want us to cover or sales and marketing topics you want us to cover, shoot us an email and let us know. We also have our Caring Insights monthly newsletter that will land in your inbox. Feel free to let me know others on your team that you want added. Just yesterday, a CEO of one of a senior living community forwarded it to their marketing coordinator. She contacted me to get on the list. She doesn't want to miss this newsletter. So if you have folks on your team who need to be getting this, let me know. It has the latest sales and marketing information we've covered on our blog or we've come across in the news media or announcements we have, and that's once a month. Then if you want to get things more quickly, you can subscribe to our industry blog, and we go into more in-depth there. The newsletter, we try to stay as brief as possible. And so the industry blog is where you'll find the full feature articles. We have guest bloggers, and you can get instant alerts from the blog when a new post goes live. Okay, so now we want to pause for questions, and we did get some questions, so let me just get those open. Here we go. Okay, let's start from those who asked early on. Okay, this is a question for Stephen. Do you schedule tours during the weekend, and how much lead time will we usually have before you schedule a tour?
Very good question, and yes, we do schedule tours for the weekend. We like to call the community and let them know that this person would like to come on a Saturday, would like to come on a Sunday. We will call you and verify that you can do it as well. Sometimes it may be a case that you don't have anybody there, but it's a good way for you to reach out to introduce yourself and to say, I know you want to come on Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, we don't have any openings at that time. Let's see if we can negotiate a different time. But if that's the time that they want to come, we'll let you know. We will give you their direct contact. If that will also occur if someone wants to come the same day. We try not to encourage it because of everything that goes on in the community, but on occasions when they want to do that, we will set up the time, but then we will call you to let you know the reason why they want to come in.
Great, thank you. Thanks for that question. And then we have a question. This is another one for Stephen. When a lead is matched to our community, you will send us an email, correct?
Absolutely. We will send you, and I showed that on the earlier slide, we will send you an email to let you know a little bit about them, what we've been able to gather in our 25-minute phone call, what they're looking for, when they're looking to move, who their loved one is, and what their daily life is like. But you will get an email 5 minutes after we've had the phone call.
Great. And then we also, you had a slide about reporting move-ins, and another individual was asking, do they have to reply to that move-in email if no move-ins have occurred that month?
Unfortunately, we do occasionally get people that say there have been no move-ins this month, but yes, we do like to reply back, because what we do then is we update and we finalize our report for that month. We may send more than 1 or 2 emails about move-ins, so if you let us know there are any, it makes sure we don't send you any follow-up emails. Coming in February, there'll be a lot more easier way for you to report move-ins, including no, we haven't had any.
Great. We also had a question from a partner who says that they're getting assisted living referrals, but can they add their independent apartments as well?
Yes.
Great. So yeah, you can just get in touch with your account manager, and they will help get that second listing added for you, and we can follow up with you after this session.
That is actually a very common question. We have done that. We search by care level, and we can see whether your care level is a level 1 or a level 2.
Okay, great. And the question is, how would you recommend responding to older reviews? We just joined, already have several reviews. Will it look good that we responded at all, or bad that we respond in a delayed manner? Here's the good news. Your response does not have a time stamp. So anyone visiting that listing won't know the day you responded and how much time passed since that review posted and from when your response posted. So yes, I do recommend that you go back and respond to older reviews. And it can be as simple as a thank you for sharing that positive feedback. We hope that we can continue to serve you. I mean, it doesn't have to be long-winded, just an acknowledgement. And remember, it's more for the visitor to the listing than the reviewer. We don't send an email to the reviewer letting them know that you've responded. It is really for the people who visit that listing to see how well your business is listening to consumer feedback and responding to consumer feedback. Okay. Here's another question for Stephen. Is there a specific form to be completed for the monthly reporting?
That's a good question. It's not really a special form. When we send out the monthly email to you, we actually have a link to where you report the move-ins. And if you recall the slideshow that has the blue buttons, it basically takes you to your portal, and you can click on the individuals that have moved in. If you don't have any move-ins, you can just respond back, we have no move-ins this month. Okay. We've tried to make it as simple as possible.
Okay, so we have a question about home care. Is there a partner portal for home care agencies too?
At the moment, There isn't, but I am pleased to say we are going to be rolling out a brand new one in the upcoming weeks, and we will be contacting all our home care partners about this new option. So you will have the same whistles and bells that community have.
And in the meantime, how do home care agencies give feedback on the lead?
Once again, if you send the email to clientservices@caring.com, we look at all that feedback. We review the lead that came in, and we can listen. All our original calls are recorded, so we can see what happened to the lead. Why was it not a good fit in the first place?
Okay. Here's another question for me, and this is a really interesting question that I may even incorporate into our next session as well. And this is based on the data that I shared about which sites that the consumers trust more, which reviews they trust more. How do we get government reviews? That's a really good question. So we think that individuals who wrote that in were referring to the nursing home ratings rather than actual consumer reviews. That is our hypothesis at this time. We're going to do further research on that. But I can tell you, in the 5 years that I've been helping with the reviews program, every so often, an individual who is a former long-term care ombudsman for their state will come on caring.com. They don't have a financial incentive to post a review, so we do allow that feedback. They will come on and say, over the years, in my role as a long-term care ombudsman, I saw great services delivered at this senior living community. I would recommend them to families that are looking for care. So if you have a relationship with a former long-term care ombudsman who is willing to do that, that is one way you could get that voice in your reviews on caring.com. Hopefully that answers that question for now, but I will also give that more thought, and we can dive into that in the next March webinar as well. All right, here's another one. We have time for a couple more questions. Who can, let's see what this, okay. What to do if you send a message to the family advisor and you're not hearing back?
Ooh, I would like to hear about that myself. Clientservices@caring.com will come to me. My team will see that. They will assign that to me. I will do the research internally and work out why you're not getting a response. If we've dropped the ball, we want to be able to address it.
Okay, great. Great. And this is one final question, and then those, don't worry, anyone that didn't get your question answered, we will follow up with you afterward. But let's take this one final question is, some referrals in the past, we have had objections about distance to our community. This is a tough objection. Do you have any tips on addressing distance?
That's a very, very topical question with us. We see distance a lot of time. We've recently, I'd say within the last 6 weeks, have kind of adjusted how we look at distance. In the past, we would ask people for towns, and we would ask them for zip codes of where we're looking for. Now we're getting more into finding out, can we have your actual street address? Because the actual street address will give us more detailed information on how far they are. The FAs are supposed to, we train them, we QA them to make sure that they know that the region that we're looking for is this zip code or is this area. We look for within 5 miles. If we can't find anything in 5 miles, then we'll expand the search. But we really want to make sure that the person knows where your community is. Sometimes we'll have people that they'll say, yes, I know it's 30 miles out, but there's a reason I want to go in this particular distance. And sometimes the distance can be because maybe what service you offer and the reviews that you have make it worth going the extra mile. So yes, we will try and get distance down as much as we can. We want to make sure that when you make a phone call and you tell them you're in XYZ area, they don't say, oh no, we can't go there. And we'll try and be as detailed as we can. If we say, if they live on the border somewhere, we can find that sometimes too, that the 10-mile radius takes them into another state. We want to make sure that they understand that it's going across the border. And sometimes people can change their mind also. They can have talked to the family and the family says, no, we don't want to go there anymore. so that when you get hold of them, they change their mind about it. It's a big, tough process, and sometimes it takes a village for them to get an answer.
Great.
But that's a very good question about systems.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Those, like Stephen said, those were some great questions. And if we didn't get to yours, don't worry. We will follow up after this session. Okay. What I want to do now is summarize the key takeaways, just summarize everything we covered. Key points for you and your team. You need to make a great impression to attract the prospects, and how you do that is to optimize your profile and your online reputation through those reviews. Be sure to take advantage of the PR marketing and content support programs we have for our partners. They're free of charge, and they will help amplify your brand. And be very responsive to the leads. Speed to lead is super important. And for our senior living partners, report your move-ins in a timely manner. That also helps optimize future referrals we make for you. Looking ahead, I referenced this during the session. Save the date, Thursday, March 16th, how to get and respond to senior care reviews. We're not going to do a general overview on the importance of senior care reviews. We're going to do a deep dive on how to get and respond to reviews. We've been doing interviews with some of our partners about the successes they've had with persuading their team to focus on this. So we're going to cover some of the tips we've heard from those, as well as best practices that we know as experts in this area. How to contact us. I just lastly want to thank you. I know you're really busy. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us, to hear this information, to ask great questions, and to follow up with us. After I close the session, you're going to be prompted to answer some questions about how we did. We want you to rate us, tell us what you love, tell us what you think we could improve next time, and if you need help with your account, let us know that too. So those questions are going to appear on the screen right after I close the session. I really do want to hear from you. If for some reason you don't have time to answer now, think about those questions and shoot me an email or Stephen an email, either clientservices@caring.com or community@caring.com. If we haven't said it enough, we want your feedback and suggestions. This is a partnership. We are in this together. Let's optimize it as best we can. Okay, thank you